welcome back to Into the Breach. I'm gonna knock out Final Island, same sitting. I feel like going into Final Island after taking a day away from the game would be a real good way to die in Final Island, so let's go hit it. Just a quick review. We have... I think this is alright. Because he has conservative. The only reason I'm running this Mercury Fist here is because of conservative. +1 use is not so necessary. Network shielding, of course, and yeah, I don't think you need to go to 6 move on Prospero. I think the shielding is a little better. 4 health plus a shield seems fine. Maybe this is too much. Do you think this is too much? Is it too much? Maybe you're supposed to go +1 move. I don't think you need it. I'm gonna run it like this. Let's go. I have never seen this. Never in my life have I seen a mountain in the middle of the map. Wowee. So we know that there's a pylon here. I don't know. I feel like there's gonna be pylons in the middle here. Let's try to spread out a little bit, because normally when I do it, I just set up like this. Let's try to spread ourselves out a little bit so that we can be more flexible. Although I really don't want Abe to get caught here. And that's what I'm opening up to. I guess I could force swap him out. Yeah. He's gonna get web most likely, unless there's like a crazy power pylon drop. Let's see it. Ooh. Uh-huh. Okay. So, the bright side of this is that the Scorpion, he is dead. But there is a downside, of course. Now, let's talk about force swap ideas, because I think that the king of this combat is going to be force swapping. We can before we begin, go through this in a more methodical way. What is the highest priority here? There's 2 high priorities. There's this blob, which is doing 4, and there's this crab, which is doing 4. Then the leader and the scarab here are lessers of doing 2 each. So, oh, and this digger is doing 2 as well. So a first idea would be, I can swap the scorpion leader with the scarab. This does a lot. First and foremost, it stops the scarab's attack. It kills the blobber, which is good, and it kills the blob, because the scorpion's attack will push this rock into the blob, and the blob always goes last. So in this swap, I am stopping 1, 2, 3 attacks. One of the attacks is not a crucial attack. But following that, Abe then has a movement of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. He could shoot this crab. Shooting this crab stops its attack. Seems good. Stops a 4. I think that leaves me taking 4. The first draft idea here is 4 damage. So let us proceed. Because I will take 2 from the digger and I will take 2 from the scarab. A second idea, which you may have seen, is swapping the scorpion this way, right? It only does 2? Oh, never mind. I was gonna say swapping it into the blobber would be good because then it kills the scarab, but it does not kill the scarab. Oh, but it'll push the scarab's attack off. Because, okay, follow this idea. Don't get caught up. Swap the scorpion and the blobber. That will... You have network shielding. Oh, I do have the big fist also. Don't forget about big fist move. Anyway, where was I? Swap scorpion and blobber. And then, since we're free, we can go ricochet shot off of the scarab and hit the blob. The blob will bounce into the boulder, killing it, and the scarab will get pushed into the water, having its attack canceled. Now, where does that leave you? That leaves you with scorpion here, blobber dead, scarab gets pushed here, critical attack, crab goes through, and I don't like it. Alright. Next thought, please. Hate that. Okay, so here's the deal. The thing that you have to recognize here is that the arachnoid mech doesn't have a whole lot of ways to impact this combat. And so a line that's going to look good is going to be a line that lets the arachnoid mech do something. And that line is definitely kill the blob and then shoot the scarab into the water. That lets the arachnoid mech stop 2 attacks. Which sounds pretty good to me. Following that, you could do this swap here again. I think takes 2. I think this line takes 2. You swap, I guess, no, the arachnoid, well, hang on. Okay, so arachnoid inject goes here. Does push the scarab into the water, canceling the scarab's attack. Solid, fine. Following that, we are swapping. We're definitely swapping. In no known universe am I not swapping. Now, oh, this guy's not dead, by the way. If they're in the lava, they don't die. They just get caught on fire. I could, what about, well, again, every idea that I'm about to what about to you is going to have the same issue of when you think it through, there is no way that a line where you go, okay, I can use Prospero to stop the blobber, does anything other than set me up to not kill this crab, right? Ultimately, either Abe or Prospero is stopping the crab's attack. That's how it has to be. What about attack order? Do you think there's anything cool we can do to make them hit each other? Like, what about... I'm looking. I'm not seeing anything cool. Nothing cool that isn't like a complete waste of resources anyway. What if you just Titan punch this guy? Where does that leave you? Surprisingly not that bad. If you just Titan punch the big man here? After that you would go... Crab does have to get pulled to G or up to a G1 or 3 rather, is what I should say it as. But if you Titan punch... No, this seems really bad. Yeah, just walked it through in my mind. That seems terrible. Okay, I think we take 2. I think that when you run through all of the lines in your mind, the best one is going to be one that takes 2. There might be one that takes 0, but I think that lines that take 0 are a little too far out of my grasp here. So the line that takes 0 is Arachnoid injecting the blob, or not killing, but pushing the boss man into the water to give him a little dunk. I think that's always your step 1. Now, step 2 is definitely going to be force swapping. If I force swap the crab... Oh, you don't kill him, okay. Thinking about what I want to force swap, I think I want to force swap... Oh, my idea. Remember, the point of the idea was... I see. So you have to force swap the crab or the scarab. You can't force swap the blobber because the blobber does not lead to the death of the scarab. Yes, that's correct. And if I go Mercury Fist, no way. Nothing interesting here. Okay, I am going to force swap. I think the crab is the more troubling enemy. However, give it a sec. Think about this for a moment longer, please. Yeah. Yeah, okay. You can't force swap with the crab because if you force swap with the crab, you have no one who can, like, stop the scarab. Well, you can by Mondo punching, but do I really want to spend a Mondo punch? I don't think so. Okay. So, kill the scarab, thusly, and then Abe gets to walk on over here and shoot his move. And ultimately, a turn 1 that lands with, what? 2 damage is not the end of the world. This wasn't a banger turn. This wasn't like a, oh my god, look at how great we are, sort of turn. But this was okay. Blobber in death range. Crab at 3. I mean, it's okay. We're a little cut off in the top, but... and then the Scarab Leader just killed itself. Okay, an excellent follow-up. Just an absolutely top-notch follow-up to this. Scarab Leader killed himself, Scorpion Leader doesn't look so scary, and the Crab is wasting his turn. So the only enemy that's actually doing... There's 2 enemies. There's a Scorpion Leader and a Scorpion that are doing things. And the other 2 enemies are just not here. Or the other... I mean, Blobber's dead, the Blob is missing, the Crab is hitting nothing. Oh, the Digger is attacking me, of course. This enemy is always attacking me. Okay, so fundamentally... What do you want to look at here? Well, I want to look at... to be honest with you, what I want to look at is probably a little bit of a switcheroony on them, where you go... I think does 3. I have to kill it, right? Let's look at this again in a way that makes sense. I have 3 attacks on buildings that I care about. How do I micromanage 3 attacks on buildings? Here's the big question mark. I do spawn an Arachnoid if I kill the boulder. Okay. That's good to know. And... So Prospero can pick and stop any one. He cannot stop multiple. Well, looking at some of the ideas here, you have a lot of really interesting thoughts to this one. Abe can just like... Oh my god, this blob actually just blocks you in. Did I hit this mountain? Is this mountain on 1? Can't tell. Like, what if I'm supposed to... What if this is an unironic turn where I'm supposed to blow up the mountain? I don't think it is, but it's fun to think about. That seems bad. Okay. So the only way that I'm stopping the Alpha Scorpion is by swapping someone in place of it. However, the problem with that is that then I have to deal with this blob. Because if I don't, then the blob is going to kill my Arachnoid mech, or worse. But... I guess the alternative is if I swap Abe in here, Abe is just completely tapped. He doesn't get to do anything. Now I could swap... Oh, I can swap these 2. I can swap the Blobber and the Scorpion, and then I can walk away from the Blob. Yeah, that seems pretty okay. Oh, no. Well... 1, 2, 3... by 1 there. Feels like this weapon is permanently off by 1, but that's not that shocking, is it? Can't attack in the lava. It's tricky. This power pylon is what makes this tricky, because otherwise I could just push the Digger away, but I cannot. So I'm a big proponent of this swap play. This seems so strong to me for the future, but following that it gets a little more interesting. Ah, I see. So the completion of this turn, the piece that you have to see is this play where you ricochet rocket like this. This is the completion of this turn. This opens up the 0 damage line, where you go Arachnoid inject to kill the Digger, and then push the Scorpion off. That's the 0 damage play. Abe will survive this, but perhaps I should have moved him back 1. But no, he has 5 HP. I gave him extra HP so that he can tank things like that on turns such as that. So that seems fine. It's better, it's really bad to put your unit in the corner like that, which is why we are tanking this damage. Putting Abe in the corner in a position like this with enemies around him is just asking for him to be just completely put out of the game on the turn following this. It's much better to play it like this, I feel. Not really much of a surprise here, is it? Scorpion is being a Scorpion. Abe has a move of 1, 2, 3, 4, so he can't really... I mean, he can do things, but they aren't meaningful things. Plus, I'm probably just gonna swap, because swapping Abe over to here seems really good. We can go block a spawn and then just swap this crab with Abe, so that Abe is now playing the game with me. The important question that you have to ask yourself upon considering this idea is, following this, does the Scorpion just clock me for 2? The answer is no because of Abe's Mondo Fist. His Mondo Fist pushes our Arachnoid Injector to a position where it gets to kill the boss man. I could have... No, Mondo Fist is melee, never mind. And now all the enemies are dead. We blocked 2 spawns. Coming out of the first section of Final Island, taking 1 is pretty solid. By the way, holy moly, do you hear these birds? They are so loud. I'm gonna close my window. I'm sick of the birds. Pretty sure if I were to press end turn here... no, the Scorpion would get me. Maria, would you kindly... No, I'm gonna Mondo Punch. Mondo Punch is very good. No surprise. Maria, would you please... I wish to swap this man into the lava? Sorry, into the... Fine. It's cool, it's cool. I kind of wish there was a reason to do other things on this turn. I wish there was setup I could take. I want to do something to prepare myself for the basement. But alas, nothing you can do. Here we go. I'm feeling okay, but, you know. Double beetles, what the hell? Oh, and a good bomb placement. Let's see how the power pylons do. Oh, it's really bad. Oh yeah, it's awful. Okay. Alright. It's a GG. Look at that bottom left, man. That's a nightmare. That rock might come in handy. Those are good rock placements. Maybe it's not over. Oh my god, what the hell? Who is this guy? What are we looking at here? What do I have here? What am I looking at? 1, 2... I have to point out, Prospero has a sick double kill on this area shift. Just an absolutely fat double shift there. On top of that, I mean, the start actually seems pretty fine. There's a nice thing here, which is that I cannot stop this 2 damage. It sucks, right? This is a checkmate. You can't stop this 2 damage. There's no play. No, there is a play, actually. You can force swap. I can spend force swap to stop this damage, but in spending force swap, I'm going to take so much more damage that I think you're just sacking this pylon. Now, here's the real question. Place your bets in the comments down below if you haven't already seen to the end. But do you think that my 12% grid defense will proc on this run? Because we've been slowly building grid defense. Could it happen? I don't know. Because like the thing is, Abe can't ricocheting rocket the Firefly though. So the only play is Prospero's move, which would be to swap. Now what would I swap? I mean, no matter what you do with the swap, it's kind of ugly, I fear. Now, a worthy consideration is to take an extra 1. A worthy consideration is actually to... Hang on. I want to push the beetle leader in the path of the other beetle and let them joust each other, but I don't want to do it here because then I take damage. Correct. I guess a follow-up idea would be you could swap. What does the beetle do? 3? A follow-up idea would be using Prospero to tank this beetle hit and then swapping these 2. what do you have to recognize here? Remember what we have to recognize. We have to recognize that the Arachnoid Injector at the start of the combat cannot kill anything and create an Arachnoid. So, well, it cannot do so on its own. So if I'm going to look at a line such as this, you have to consider that as well. Could ignore and just take 2. I don't like that. I really, really believe in this area shift. Like, I strongly believe in this area shift. But the follow-up feels a little weak. I'm gonna go through with it, but I can always reset if this looks too grim. The turn that comes after it looks a little bit unfortunate, though. It stops so much, you know? We can Mondo punch the beetle, and then we just have to take... But we're taking 4 if I do that, which is bad. The Mondo punch here... I mean, I can just shoot him, right? I can shoot him, it's fine. But I want to look at... what? I could do this. Mondo punch here. Oh, and then I Arachnoid inject. Hey, look at that. And Abe tanks the beetle. He takes 2. I was thinking I would want to be over here, but this is kind of awkward because I'm creating a big wall in the middle of the map on the next turn with the tentacles. But I think that it's okay. I think it really fucks with the beetles, actually. Also, it's not that crazy now that I relook at it. No. No, you can't change it. Okay. I do not want to have... Oh, I have an interesting question, actually. You know how there's tentacle spawns under all of your units? Do the spawned units have that? If I place this Arachnoid here? What I don't want is I don't want to encourage this Scarab to walk into the corner here. Or, rather, if I am going to encourage it by blocking it in here, I want to have the Arachnoid. Like, if the Scarab goes here, into this corner, and takes a shot, if I blow the Arachnoid up here, I can't stop that. If I leave the Arachnoid, then I can push it into the lava next turn. Likewise, what you can notice here is that other than this power pylon out in the corner, which I can just push the Arachnoid. Basically, you leave the Arachnoid alive because doing 1 here is meaningless. And it's also an interesting thought of, will it create tentacles? Unsure. An okay turn 1, though. Only taking 2 on turn 1 is solid, with an Arachnoid spawned and both leaders dead. Not too shabby. Abe takes 2, which is not ideal, but... Oh my god, the grid defense passed. Ah, the Arachnoid does not get hit. Good to know. And you can see now, if you did not grasp what I was trying to say before, you can now see what I was trying to say, which is when I block in this Scarab like this, because it doesn't have anywhere else to target, it's either going to shoot on this line, which I can push it off, or I guess if it stood still and shot the bomb, then I wouldn't have... No, I could just walk around. Then it would be bad, but most cases, the bad thing is when it goes up in the corner like that. So you deal with the worst case like so. That was one hell of a blob. But we have swap and tiles that are dying. It's really just dealer's choice here on how you want to go about this. There's so many ways. This is a turn where you're not fighting to survive, you're fighting to thrive. So one thought would be Abe comes over here, Mondo punches the beetle, and blocks a spawn. That's 1 enemy now and 1 enemy next turn dealt with. Following that, I can Arachnoid inject the blob, of course, because Arachnoid Injector is just farming the blob. Finally, an enemy that does not beat the shit out of me. Or finally, rather, I should say, the blobber is defeated. I would strongly like to kill the blobber on this turn. And so I can do that by swapping, but doesn't seem that good, does it? Because in making this swap, I am just letting this damage happen. So let us reconsider. Perhaps think about area shifting the Firefly to block the spawn and take a non-attack. And then what, just Arachnoid Injector, I guess? You inject on the blob and then hit this guy for 2? Seems okay. Arachnoid Injector kinda goes hard. And then don't forget to do your Mondo punch. I thought this did 1 to adjacent tiles, but I guess I missaw. Okay, we got 2 enemies spawning. The blobber lived, but he's at 2 HP. And there's only gonna be 1 enemy alive. Oh, and it's the Scion. Okay, cool. The Scion is not a mission critical threat on this turn, which is great. Would prefer it not to live though, because I don't really want to do. I mean, it doesn't really matter, does it? Let's see. Now, don't forget that these tiles are rocks. The lava tiles are rocks. So if I try to end my turn in a rock, I will die. So my Arachnoid Injector... 1, 2... The Arachnoid Injector spawns an Arachnoid with a movement of 3, I believe. Which would be 1, 2, 3. Does not make it to push the Firefly into the pit. What about Abe? Does Abe have anything good here? Because I could Injector Shot the Siren. You have anything exciting, Abe? I mean, I guess you could just shoot the Firefly. Oh, but then we take 2. Oh, remember we're at 5 and not 3 because of the surviving pylon. Okay, this is actually like 100% over then. Maybe not 100%. It's fairly likely that it's over. Would be a more accurate thing to say. Okay, so the idea here is make this swap. This kills the blob and diffuses the Firefly's attack, which then opens me up to... I mean, kill the blobber. Actually... Abe can't kill the blobber or I will take damage. So, kill the blobber. Arachnoid does nothing, and then I would let them spawn because the pair of enemies that are going to spawn in the top right can't cause me to lose the game. Like, they just cannot. They cannot do 5 damage to me in the top right. I guess middle right, but whatever. They don't have the actions. They don't have the number of attacks to do it. Unless it's like a crab, I guess, could do it. A crab in the top. It's a beetle. Maybe a crab gets me. No, I was correct. The statement that I made was not incorrect. I said that these 2 enemies, this scarab and this crab, could not set me into a position where I lose the game, and I was correct. So I win if I just end my turn here. However, when you're winning, I like to really give the enemies a sense of defeat and ruin their day. Oh, but will I? Yeah, I will. If I do it this way, I will kill. Hang on, hold. Prospero pulls up, drags these 2 into the lava. Yeah. Don't worry, it's fine, because I can just Arachnoid him out. Abe goes, pops this enemy. I cannot stop this attack, and that's fine. Arachnoid just pushes him out thanks to network shielding, and there's a pretty solid combat. I mean, we took 2 on Final Island, which is always nice to see. And I will end turn. We're gonna send Prospero back in time, by the way. This unit's going pretty nuts. He high rolled like crazy. And so GG. Don't forget to close your eyes if you don't want to see the big flash of white when the bomb goes off. I would like to warn you. Dim your lights. Our war is not yet won. Vecticide complete. Continue our cycle elsewhere. What a Chad. Ah! I didn't close my eyes. Ah, I did it again. I wonder if there's a mod to stop the fade to white. I should look for that. Anyway, victory. You can see our final score here. 28,007. Not too bad. 30,000 would have been max score, but yeah, how about it? All right. Well, there's another W. What'd I tell you? You know, we lost so many in a row, and then I said, okay, I want to start winning again. I went back to doing 3 islands. Boom. 2 in a row. Come back with me, Prospero. Let's hit the road. Alright, just a quick review. That leaves us with a pretty good number still to go, but tomorrow we'll start Mist Eaters. So tune in then. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, don't forget to leave me a like. Subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good one.